In this video, I'm going to review the 5 most common issues you might run into when installing Hilti field points and how to hopefully troubleshoot them and resolve them. Please remember that Hilti field points can only be used on full versions of the software. So if you're using a student version of AutoCAD, an LT version of AutoCAD, or some other type of AutoCAD, you need to make sure that you're using the full version, the full licensed version of AutoCAD. Now, on to the first troubleshoot. The first troubleshoot usually is actually pretty simple. If the Hilti field points download that you have is not from the same year as the AutoCAD version that you had, unfortunately, it will not sync up and you won't be able to use it. So for instance, in my case, I'm using AutoCAD 2022. So when I requested the download link for AutoCAD, I requested the 2022 download link. So perhaps the reason it's not working is because simply your AutoCAD version is not the same year as the field points version that you received. And that's a simple request of the Hilti support team if that's the case. Hopefully with the new download of the correct year for your AutoCAD, that automatically pops it up here in the top. The second issue you might be dealing with is simply that Hilti field points, this ribbon, doesn't appear at all. You've installed it, it doesn't bring up any error messages, and you want it to start working. So how can you make sure that it actually appears? And this is simply a customer user interface issue. There is a command called REBUILDCUI that I use. And you can see it automatically populates Hilti, field points, REBUILDCUI. That's all you're going to type in. When you press enter on that, it's going to rebuild the CUI, the customer user interface, and it should populate the field points ribbon here at the top for you. And hopefully that's all you need. If you're still having issues, let's go on to step 3. If, for whatever reason, you have run the rebuild CUI and it's still not popping up, and you're also not getting any errors when you install it, then it might just be that it's not loaded into your AutoCAD program. Your AutoCAD isn't recognizing it as a loaded application. And in that case, simply go to the NETLOAD command, NETLOAD. When you open up NETLOAD, it's going to take you to this screen right here, and it's probably going to open you up to the AutoCAD 2022 folder for your program files. The loader for the Hilti field point software is actually located back at the C drive. And in fact, it's in the program data file path. And you can see I don't see that in here. Program data is supposed to be in here. So what I usually do if I don't see the program data folder in the C drive where it should be, I X out of this real quick. And then I open up my file explorer. And on my C drive in here, I go to view and I have my file explorer show hidden items. As long as it's showing hidden items, you'll see I'll be able to access my program data folder. So now that I have hidden items showing, let me go back to NETLOAD. I will go back to my C drive, and here's program data now appearing. When I open up program data, I'm simply going to follow the path of program data, Autodesk, application plugins, Hilti field points 2022, because that's the one I'm working with. Now go to contents, bin times 64, and now you're going to look for the loader file. It's Hilti field points, Autodesk, AutoCAD loader. Hilti field points, Autodesk, AutoCAD loader, this one right here. That's the one you want to load into AutoCAD. Once that's completed, then simply do the REBUILDCUI command, and let it rebuild the CUI. If you don't see it, maybe you try to restart AutoCAD and hopefully it pops up. Now, the next issue you might run into is that you have Hilti field points popping up here, but nothing is selectable. No matter what you press on here, it just grays out or doesn't open up anything whatsoever. And that might simply be because there is a software list file that has not been saved properly to your computer. In this case, if this is you will need to reach out to Hilti to send you that file. It's simply an XML file called SoftwareList. What the support team can do is email you the support list file, and you simply save it to the correct file path, and then reopen AutoCAD, and hopefully these buttons will be clickable at that point. If this is your case and you have received that SoftwareList.xml, here's the file path to follow. Go to the C drive, go to the user, make sure you click on your username, and you need to go to app data. In order to see app data, you need to make sure that your hidden items are shown. I'm going to go to app data, roaming, Hilti, and I'm going to go to Profis Auto Update. You can see the SoftwareList XML right here. go ahead and drag the software list that you've been given by Hilti into this folder. Even if you already have a software list into here, go ahead and send it in here again to replace it. Once that's completed, reopen AutoCAD, and hopefully at that point, these buttons can now be selected. Now, if you've gotten to this point and you're still struggling to either click on the buttons or to activate your software, simply go into the Hilti ribbon, and let's see if you can click on this Setup dropdown. In the Setup dropdown, you'll notice you have a License Manager option. When you click on License Manager, it's simply going to bring up your activation information. This is where you can either type in your key and your information and submit to activate your software, or start your free trial, which if this is your first time using the software, you'll have 30 days to use. And again, that's simply by going to the Setup dropdown in the settings and going to License Manager to type in your information. Hopefully that will get you started so you can actually use these buttons at Hilti Field Points and enjoy using the software.